What's up, SNA fans? This is Super Ninja Austin back here with another wrestling news video on February 10th, 2024, where I'll be talking about the wildest wrestling news stories and rumors that you SNA fans need to know from the Wrestle Zone article. My apologies. Wrestle Talk won't be tomorrow. But watch it to the very end because it's going to get more and more interesting and exciting. So we're going to start off on today's wrestling news video with some Cody Rhodes news. Chooses Roman Reigns as his WrestleMania 40 opponent. The Rock slaps him in the face. Now, I think I already read this on yesterday's wrestling news video, but not exactly this one, but I say about the press event, but I'm gonna still read it anyways. But anyway, we got Cody Rhodes will get another chance to finish his story, but The Rock wasn't too happy about it. Rhodes appeared at the end of Thursday's WrestleMania press conference and made his intentions clear, and he'll face Roman Reigns at WrestleMania 40. The Rock and Roman Reigns have talked all week about facing each other at the event. Roman took things one step further and declared that he was picking The Rock as his opponent. Airplane? Mhm. The Rock came to the stage in Las Vegas to a mixed reaction and talked about how Roman Reigns versus Rock was destiny and the biggest main event ever. Cody Rhodes came out and called their actions bull sugar honey iced tea. Well, he didn't say sugar honey iced tea. He just said the word. It's the initials of the metaphoric sweet, refreshing beverage, and said he had something to add. Cody noted how he had a lot of conversation referring to having counsel with The Rock last week, but declared he was facing Roman. Earlier in the night, Roman took a dig at Cody's father, so Cody returned the favor and said their ancestors would be ashamed. The Rock seemed to then back Roman Reigns and said Cody couldn't talk about the family like that to the family like that, and slapped Cody across the face. The two sides were separated to end the press conference, but it looks like we have our WrestleMania 40 main event. And what are your thoughts on the press conference event back a couple of nights ago? And also, like for those who seen the full footage of the press conference on on social media, and I believe it was, if I'm not mistaken, I think it was on Peacock as well. Like on seeing what's gonna be the what's gonna be the twists and turns and and what's gonna be the plans of the biggest grandest stage of them all, like what's gonna be or should I say the directions, like on who's facing who, like with Cody Rhodes' case with Roman Reigns, and then we also have Bailey versus Io Sky, and maybe a couple other matches that's already been scheduled. And then we have the other wrestlers that are wonder who they're gonna face, like Rhea Ripley and Seth Rollins, which Seth Rollins thought he's gonna face Cody Rhodes, but he made a decision at the end of the press conference. But he said, like, whether if it's him or anybody else, like he's gonna be a fighting champion, but he would more prefer to be Cody. But this World Championship dream match is not gonna happen anytime soon. And we also got Becky Lynch teasing things with Rhea Ripley as well at the press conference of saying like, I'm already qualified in the Elimination Chamber, but when I win, I'm going after you. Well, obviously, regardless, he is, but she's going to take. I should say more likely she referred that she's going to take her women's world championship away from her, which it could be a possibility. I mean, like it could go either way, but I would say my predictions in story, I think Becky Lynch is going to win because uh, Rhea Ripley is beating like the whole entire Raw roster except for Becky Lynch when it comes to being on the Raw roster. Yeah. But what are your thoughts on that? And do you think The Rock's still going to have a match with Roman this year, or you think it's going to be WrestleMania 41 next year? And also, or do you think it's gonna be like Roman Reigns gonna do double duties, or do you think Cody's gonna be doing double duties? Like if whoever wins gets to face Roman Reigns at the main event of Night Two's WrestleMania. Like whether if their match is at Night One or in the opener of Night Two, or whatever the situation. Or do you think that's gonna be Roman Reigns' duties to do that? Like you're gonna face The Rock first, and then you're gonna face Cody at the main event of Night Two. Let me know in the comments down below. But let's move on to the next wrestling news. And we got, I believe, some Seth Rollins news now, which it says Seth Rollins, Seth Rollins on uh, on saying The Rock coming back and using his power feels pretty gross. And Seth Rollins doesn't hold back when discussing The Rock's return. The Rock's return to WWE continues continues to electrify the wrestling world. At the WrestleMania 40 kickoff, he got into a heated confrontation with Cody Rhodes and Seth Rollins. Like this came moments after Roman Reigns chose him as his opponent at WrestleMania 40. Speaking with Ryan Gados, like for Fox News Digital, Seth Rollins discussed the buzzworthy moment and stated that The Rock exerting his power felt pretty gross. He said, "It's just what happens when powerful people exert their power," Seth Rollins said. "They just think they do whatever they want and get away with it. And that sucks. It it just sucks. I don't know any other way to put it. I guess it resulted in Cody getting what he wanted. We'll figure out what's next for the world heavyweight title." And, but Cody said it's bulls. Like it's bulls. It feels pretty gross to me. Again, Seth Rollins brings up The Rock taking CM Punk's spot by saying in the same interview, Seth Rollins went on to describe how he did not like the way The Rock took CM Punk's main event years main event years ago when he came back to WWE to face John Cena. He re- he reiterated that he felt like the Rock using his power after he joined the TKO board of directors was gross. and he had it 10 years, 10 years or something like that. The last time he came around, I don't like CM Punk, but he did the same thing with to Punk. Kind of came in and took his main event and did it 2 years 2 years in a row with some very not so memorable matches with John Cena, Seth Rollins said. But yeah, now coming back on the board of directors, like I said, man, it feels like gross. I I don't I don't like it. I feel I feel like we gotta do something about it. Just don't know what that next step is going to use to recover from a torn ACL and partially torn meniscus. But what's your thoughts on Seth Rollins' comments about The Rock thinking him taking opportunities away is pretty gross, and also about CM Punk about also about him doing this trying to do the similar thing a decade ago with CM Punk, which he beat him for the WWE Championship, but at the same time I didn't see it as him taking his title opportunity away, only just trying to do a rematch with John Cena, which it was very unfortunate. It was for the expense of CM Punk losing his WWE title for them to have this main event happening. But if I was WWE, I would have booked it like in this way, like have I would say a triple threat match, like where John Cena and The Rock still have their rematch, and then we'll have CM Punk in the match, like for the WWE Championship, one that, and two, for CM Punk to achieve his dream, the main event WrestleMania, and then. But I guess a blessing in disguise turned out of this situation, which I'll say, even though CM Punk's not gonna be main eventing this year's WrestleMania, but he could do it next year. Like if we could if WWE could play their cards right, and then if we wait and see, like if CM Punk could do the impossible, which I'm hoping that will be the case. But yeah, again, we're just gonna have to wait and see in the next 12 months. If CM Punk's not gonna main event this year, he might just main event the Showcase of the Immortals in their 41st anniversary. Well, I would say their anniversary. I'll say the 44th annual WrestleMania. That's also I should describe it as. But yeah, let me know in the comments down below, like what your thoughts on Seth Rollins thinks that him doing ever since he made his return and tried to take opportunities away is a pretty gross move from the Brahma Bull, or the People's Champ, or the Great One, wherever you want to choose your pick of calling them the nicknames of any of those three nicknames. But yeah, let me know in the comments down below, and let's move on to the next wrestling news, which I don't say too gross. I say I'll agree with him. Facing Roman Reigns will be a dream match. Not taking opportunity. We can still do both at the end of the day. Like we just need to wait and see if they're going to go out and go into that path, like along with Cody choosing Roman. But yeah, let's move on to the next news. We got but yeah, I would say Cody Cody Rhodes could still main event night two's WrestleMania, and we could do like Rock versus Roman in the night one, or even or the opener, which I think they're going to do Cody being in that path where they could have done that with Roman, but I'm not sure if that'll be uh, that's going to be accurate. Like when it's been announced on what's the plans and what's going to be in cards in place with WrestleMania. And next up, we got some exclusive interview with Big Bronson Reed. And he's maximizing his minutes. Hopefully, for for a rubber match with Okada. Bronson Reed is hoping to see Okada standing across the ring from him sooner rather than later. WrestleZone managing editor Bill Pritchard recently spoke with Bronson Reed. He was asked like how he plans on making the most out of his road to WrestleMania. Reed said it's all about maximizing whether time he gets each week. And he said, I mean, it's a hard one. I feel like WWE right now is getting more stacked. I'm sure there's more and more like returns, more and more people signing up to WWE as well. Bronson Reed explained. So it's pretty much about making sure I'm become a stable on Monday Night Raw. You see me most Mondays. It's just making sure I do my best in those moments. I always get told to maximize your minutes on your TV, and that's what I'm going to do. Regarding surprise or signings, I Kazuchika Okada's name has been popular. I mean, it's speculated on about potentially signing with WWE. Okada is now a free agent, and he's garnered attention from multiple promotions, including WWE and even AEW. Okada's next home is still up in the air. But Brick Bronson Reed is one guy who wants to see him in WWE. And with him in the response is with him saying he wants him in a rubber match. Reed beat Okada in the 2022 G1 Climax tournament, a big statement win in his career. They shared the ring several other times that year, with Okada getting a win back in their second singles match at New Japan Pro Wrestling's Declaration of Power last year, of course. Reed said he'd love to see Okada in WWE, so he could win the rubber match between them. The 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 remark was met with a mixed reaction, with some scuffing scuffing that it would ever happen. However, Reed still hopes to see Okada in WWE. So he gets his long-awaited rematch. He said, "I feel like the first time I I stepped in the ring with him. I don't think anyone expected me to beat him, and not only did I beat him, but I beat him in pretty exciting fashion. We had that second match, and there was electricity in the air in Japan. Seeing me and Okada wrestle, there's just something about it that works." Reed said, "I always I always knew there was some point in our careers that we meet again, whether it was here in WWE, or whether it was me going back to New Japan Pro Wrestling. I know that the landscape of pro wrestling is always changing, evolving, people working together. I always thought that was a possibility. Now, more than ever, it's a possibility. He added, I don't know what's going to happen, but if the Rainmaker does decide to come to WWE, I want to rub I want the rubber match for sure. And what's your thoughts on Bronson Reed's comments about Kazuchika Okada possibly signing with WWE? And do you think he will be signed with WWE, or is he going to go to AEW or go to a different American wrestling company entirely? Like, and do you think, or do you think it is going to be WWE and we will see this rubber match? And and then it's been reported that they had two different matches in New Japan Pro Wrestling previously, nearly 2 years ago, like with Bronson Reed beating him in the G1 climax in 2022, and also Kazuchika Okada beat him in that rematch in that Declaration of Power event at the Declaration of Power. Yeah, that's what I should explain it as. But yeah, let me know in the comments down below on what your thoughts on to this onto this interview with Big Bronson Reed, which I would see that kind of match, like whether the Rainmaker or the Big Man win at the Showcase of the Immortals, which or any other or even other or any other pay per views or match on the weekly televised show. But I think it should be on the premium live event, like if not WrestleMania, like perhaps the other event like Backlash or uh, uh, Night of Champions or Super Showdown or Battlegrounds or wherever pay per view that'll be in June. But yeah, let me know in the comments down below, which we'll see that rubber match, which I think the Rainmaker's going to win because if it's going to be in this return match, then I can see Okada winning this. But if it's if it's like after he made his debut, I'm not return. That's it. Return. I mean his debut. If he had his first match with the company in WWE, like if it was this debut match, then I would say yes, he's going to win. But it's going to be a tough choice if he's already been in WWE for a while and he already made, and this is after he made his debut, and then this is anybody's game. But in terms of storyline wise, I would probably would pick who's gonna win. That would make storytelling sense if you know what I mean. But let's move on to one exclusive interview with a wrestler to another, but this time with an AEW wrestler, and that and this man is none other than All Ego Ethan Page with with uh with his career highlight material in match against Kenny Omega. And WrestleZone recently spoke with All Ego Ethan Page, like who picked his recent work with Tony Nese and Kenny Omega as some standout matches in his career. Page feuded with Nese in Ring of Honor, leading into Final Battle, and had a great warm up match with Omega ahead of the pay per view. Best best ring Best Ring of Honor match. Honestly, I really with him saying best Ring of Honor match. Honestly, I really like him myself. I really liked myself and Tony Nese. The second time, like even the first time too. What's wrong with this device? Oh yeah, there it is. Okay, and even the first time too. E- either one in AEW, I'm going to go with the Kenny Omega match. That just happened. If anyone was like, oh, like show me show me something that you did in your career, I would be like, oh, this match that just happened that happened last week. But yeah, that would that would be the one. And yeah, he said it double times. That would. But anyways, and when asked matches, uh, check I check. It said with matches. It said check out some free to watch ruling. Oh, oh yeah. I don't think that I need to read that. But anyways, what's your thoughts on All Ethan Page naming his favorite matches? Which two of them, which one was the his first two encounters with the premier athlete. That's what he calls himself, the premier athlete, and then his favorite AEW match that he had in his under his AEW contract was with Kenny Omega, which I would say that was a pretty good match. Like back a few months ago in AEW Collision, which I believe was in October, was it? But yeah, that was a pretty great match that looked like it should belong into a pay per view rather than free TV. But also, like Tony Nese, I haven't really watched it because I don't really watch Ring of Honor, but I hear some highlights from them. But I need to start watching their product because it's been watching their Ring of Honor stuff because yeah, I heard it's like a modern day version of the old Ring of Honor. Even though I haven't really watched the old ones, I just watched some highlighted matches on YouTube. But I need to start watching them more often because it's like very like I'll say I'm not sure if I should use the word underrated, but I would say it's very I'll say it's it hardly gets any reactions and very gets any hardly gets recognized by the wrestling fan base unless you're a hardcore wrestling fan. Yeah, that's what I should best way to describe it. Like it's very fantastic. I would say yeah, like it's very unrecognizably fantastic if you know what I mean. And yeah, like I understand, like nobody haven't discovered Ring of Honor, like other than the hardcore wrestling fans. Like, but yeah, let me know in the comments down below on what your thoughts on. But I think Kenny Omega and both Tony Nese and Kenny Omega are are very amazing performers individually and respectively. Like especially when Tony Nese was in NXT, like he was like the biggest cruiserweight star, like or 205 Live, let me rephrase it, back 5 years ago. Like he showed why he's known as the premier athlete. Like if you give him an opportunity, he's gonna make the best out of it. Like especially what he did in this time in NXT and 205 Live as the NXT Cruiserweight Champion, and with him defeating his teammate and best friend that turned on him, Buddy Murphy, which he's now on AEW as Buddy Matthews, is with Malachi Black's faction, the House of Black. But anyways, yeah, he defeated him and at the grandest stage of them all at WrestleMania 35, which that was 5 years ago, with Zack Ryder and Kurt Hawkins was still there when they were that name, which now, yeah, they're going by Matt Cardona and Brian Myers, which I believe Brian Myers was his real name. But yeah, let me know in the comments down below. Okay, moving on to the next wrestling news. Come on, device. Why is it not working? Sorry, it's taking so long. We got some SmackDown news now. As it says, pre, prime, preliminary viewership increase on February 9th. Demo also rises, and it says right here, SmackDown, or yeah, according to Programming Insider, two point like 2.4 million viewers watched the show on Friday night, and it drew a 0.69 rating in the 18 to 49 demographic. The the prelim the preliminary viewership is up from last week's episode when two with 2.3 million viewers turned into turned into the demo also rose from the last week's episode, which drew a 0.66 rating in the same demographic. What happened on WWE SmackDown this week? With this week's show kicked off Triple H, Nick Aldis, and Adam Pearce. Triple H made it clear, despite complaints from The Rock and Roman Reigns, will with Roman Reigns will be defending the undisputed WWE Universal Championship against Cody Rhodes at WrestleMania 40. We also had Bianca Belair defeat Michi and Mia Yim in a qualifier match in the Elimination Chamber #1 Contenders match in Perth, Australia. We also had Tyler Bate and Pete Dunne were also in action and picked up a huge win over DIY and will now face the Judgment Day for the undisputed WWE Tag Team Championships at Elimination Chamber. We also had the main event match, the final qualifier match. Oh yeah, we also had in the opener, Drew McIntyre defeated AJ Styles in the qualifier match, in the first men's qualifier match in the of the Elimination Chamber #1 Contenders match. We also had the main event, of the show. Saw Randy Orton defeating Sami Zayn in the second men's qualifier match in the Elimination Chamber #1 Contenders match. And yeah, what's your thoughts on overall on Friday Night SmackDown? And I already recapped the show. Make sure you check it out on this same YouTube channel, of course. But yeah, let me know in the comments down below and what your thoughts on how many views SmackDown has drawn. Which it's been over 100,000, nearly 100,000 views, if not overwards. Which I would say about. I would say about 40